Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope you're having a good day. We've got my Series 10 team video here. So I'm going to be showing you guys the 5 teams that I'm sharing with you guys for this month. So I really hope that you appreciate them, enjoy them, I think is the word I was looking for. I really hope you enjoy the teams. I really think they're a lot of fun. If you try any of them, definitely let me know if you do. I will try to do some sort of celebrational thing to go along with it. One of the homies, Gigawatts, suggested that it might be fun to do a sort of giveaway to go along with one of our teams. So if you use one of my teams and you share a video of you using it, I will give away a shiny for each of my teams. So the first person who uses each one of my teams, I will have a shiny prepared to give away for said occasion. So we'll do something fun like that. Let me know if you use one of the teams, and I will give you a shiny that comes coupled from the team, because I do have quite a bit of extra leftover shinies. So let's look at these teams. I do appreciate those of you who are here, and those of you who have been at my channel for a while. If this is your first time seeing the channel, we are getting very close to 100 subs if we haven't hit there already. So if you do want to support me and keep being a part of the channel, feel free to give me a sub. I really appreciate and I'm looking forward a lot to what we have going on for Series 10. Okay, so let's talk about it. Here is the first team, Kangaskhan Kyogre team. We're going to go through some of the teams with, Series 10 accolades first. So this team has gotten third in the Corviknight tournament that I'm kind of still in the midst of posting. So, I haven't actually posted the end of it yet. But this team did get third in one of the Corviknight tours. They're a little bit easier to get higher rank in than some of the other things I've participated in, but that did happen, and they're not always easy to get a high rank in, so I will say that too. I definitely had to work for it. So we've got Kyogre here with Origin Pulse, Protect, Scald, and Water Spout. It's pretty, standard Kyogre. You could have argued going for Ice Beam over Scald or like Water Spout, but I do think that having Origin Pulse and Water Spout is really nice, as well as having a non-spread water move if you really need it. So, we have other ways to answer things like Rillaboom with Triple Axle, Serena, and Hurricane on Mantine. So I'm not too worried about having Ice Beam, although I do know that that would be clutch in certain situations. So, yeah, we've got Kyogre, pretty standard Kyogre, max special attack, max speed, beneficial speed nature. Serena with wide lens is pretty important on a lot of Kyogre teams because one of Kyogre's biggest threats is Rillaboom, whereas Serena with the ability Queenly Majesty blocks all priority moves from coming at your side of the field. So instantly switching in Serena versus an expected Grassy Glide makes Grassy Glide go no more. And Serena also has quite a bit of attacking power, honestly, having like 372, I think, attack at level 100, so it really does pack a punch. And something that I've done against like a Xerneas is lead Kyogre Serena and use Water Spout Power Whip. And the first Water Spout, it goes off after they use Geomancy, so it takes them down to like a little over half health. But then the Power Whip is able to completely finish it off. So you can do something like just lead Water Spout Power Whip against a Xerneas and end up knocking it out turn 1. Then we have Kangaskhan with Fake Out and Last Resort. Kangaskhan's just really powerful Pokemon. Has the ability to do Dynamax level damage with that last resort, so you're still getting huge amounts of damage out of Kangaskhan. It can, fake out ghost Pokemon, which is really great. And you do have to look out for more people using Encore in this meta. But I do think Kangaskhan is an amazing Pokemon, and this thing has been putting in straight work on the team. Just fake out, last resort, big spam energy. You could think about running like fake out, last resort, and protect. I actually think would be pretty crazy, but then you have to protect the second turn every time, which, kind of gets around fake out, or encore until they just encore you again. So, Mantine with Swift Swim can't be faster than a Regieleki, unfortunately, but we do have Lightning Rod Raichu, and we have Focus Sash, so, we can most likely get up the Tailwind no matter what if you do the board positioning correctly. You do have to be careful about getting faked out because Mantine does not have Protect, but we do have fast fake out users, so hopefully we can fake out the fake out user. Mantine has Hurricane, Wide Guard, Scald, and Tailwind, which is a really good moveset for Mantine. Wide Guard, just great in this meta. Tailwind, also very useful. Scald can burn people, does very significant damage in the rain. And Hurricane, it confuses a lot. And also does pretty significant damage. Mantine packs a punch with 252 special attacks. So, you got to be on the lookout for Mantine. If I didn't mention Serena's moveset, Power Whip, Play Rough, and Triple Axle, is really just good for countering some of the common meta, like, fighting, Urshifu's, Landorus, things like that. Then we have Sheer Force, Life Orb, Landorus Incarnate, with Earth Power, Sludge Bomb, Protect, and Psychic. I know there is a pretty large argument for Rock Slide. I know a lot of people like Rock Slide on Landorus. I don't think we really need Rock Slide that bad. I think this team has ways to deal with Pokemon that you would usually want Rock Slide for. Maybe this team could use Rock Slide to have a little bit more of an answer to flying Pokemon. But besides that, I think we want Psychic, because Psychic is going to allow us to do things like answer an Amoonguss if we're in a really bad board position, because Amoonguss can be really, really annoying in this format, and if we don't have our Mantine around and we don't have our Serena around, we're going to want something that can easily neutralize an Amoonguss before it just turns the game around. So, we do have that. And lastly, we have full support Raichu with Eerie Impulse, Charm, Nuzzle, and Fake Out. I understand that you might want Feint. I think Feint would be nice, but I do really like this full support idea of being able to lower their special attack, paralyze them, and fake them out. And we did still decide to go with Air Balloon on Raichu. Now that I'm thinking about it, I do think that potentially like an Agua Berry would probably be the best item on Raichu, so if I decide that I want to switch that, I will. I have, however, found that the Air Balloon is still actually useful in some instances, because I've been in cases where someone does want to lead like a Landorus, and they won't be able to, just use that Earth Power right away and get rid of Raichu. So, you've got that. I'm not going to go too much into common leads for a lot of these teams, because I know that I kind of waste a lot of time doing things like that sometimes, but let's just talk about it really quick. So, you can lead a fake out user plus pretty much like most other people. You can lead like Kangaskhan Mantine or Raichu Mantine if you want to get up the Tailwind and you're afraid of, not being able to do so. You can lead Kyogre Mantine if you know that being really quick right off the bat with Mantine to get that Tailwind off is going to benefit you. And you can just go Tailwind if you get it off first. Then Kyogre's now faster than everything else. and can run away with things pretty safely. Although you do have to be on the lookout for Fake Out, which is why we have our own Fake Out. Then, yeah, I mean, you can also do things like lead Serena Kyogre if you really want, but Serena is a pretty good switch in as well. You can do things like lead, Kangaskhan Kyogre, and, yeah, Landorus has its place too. So, let's move on to the next team. The next team is Reddit's favorite team. No. Reddit was giving me some flack for this team because they don't think that the team has the ability to answer things like Zacian. But like Zacian is really good, Zacian's really good. I'm not good at battling Zacian anyways, and I do think this team has ways to counter Zacian. But Zacian, when paired with the right supports, can be really hard in a lot of situations. So that's really what they were trying to point out to me, but just the way they said it didn't come off right. So let's see, what can we say about this team? I really like this team. This team has gotten 26th in the Osiris Tour Series 10 Tour 1, and we got 3rd in the Eliminator Tour, where the Eliminator Tour had maybe like 30 to 40 people, and the Osiris Tour had like 300-ish. So, we're getting like top 10 results with this team, which is really nice, even though people think it looks awkward, but it's a best of one team. Like, I don't think this team would perform very well in best of 3. I think you could probably make it perform well in best of 3, but it really relies a lot on surprise factor with things like that Choice Scarf Alakazam. So let's talk about it. We've got Agua Berry Hitmontop with Intimidate to lower the opponent's attack, Wide Guard, to just do Wide Guard things. Triple Axle is really just good for countering things like Landorus, Rillaboom, Groudon even, and then, Fake Out and Quick Guard. Quick Guard is, just blocks priority moves. But I think if their priority move, like Fake Out, is faster, like they're faster than you, then they still fake you out, which kind of sucks, and you don't get the Quick Guard. Then we have Xerneas with, Dazzling Gleam, Moonblast, Geomancy, and Power Herb. So we'll be able to get off that Geomancy boost right away, being supported by Indeedee if necessary with the Follow Me. Then we also have Indeedee hanging around to do Helping Hand, where it can use Helping Hand, Dazzling Gleam with Xerneas and just do fat damage. You can also do Helping Hand, Expanding Force on Alakazam, and it's basically like Alakazam has a Choice Band, Choice Specs and Choice Scarf all at the same time. So, Helping Hand Indeedee has come in clutch a lot on this, and we are using a bulk spread again, so, it has max survivability with defense, and the Psychic Seed allows it to stick around a lot longer doing that redirection shenanigans. Cinderace is very, very clutch, actually. You do have to really play around with board positioning to make Cinderace work as best as possible, like trying to avoid getting intimidated, being on the field with Indeedee to redirect if possible, in order to, allow you to get off a big Pyro Ball into something like Zacian. However, yes, Zacian can use like substitute spam and make it a little annoying for you, in which case your best bet is going to be to lead something like Cinderace Landorus, and to hope that they just kind of can't get out of it, or, to have them on the field. So Cinderace's moveset, Gunk Shot, allows you to deal with annoying things like Tapu Fini, as well as opposing Xerneas. Pyro Ball is just really good against like Zacian and some other things like that. High Jump Kick has the ability to one-shot, what's his name? Incineroar. So you can one-shot Incineroar with High Jump Kick, which is really clutch. And then Sucker Punch does anti-synergize with the Psychic terrain on this team, but you really want Sucker Punch in the event that you're going to need it, and you want to send out Cinderace first versus like a Calyrex without sending out Indeedee, or just in the end game if your Psychic terrain goes away and you find that you're actually going to need Sucker Punch because you're facing like a Rillaboom or something, which has happened to me. Then we've got Alakazam with Expanding Force, Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam, and Psychic with Choice Scarf. So the idea here is that we want to be faster than their Calyrex Shadow. We want to be able to do just a big Shadow Ball right before they even get the chance to expect it. Yes, some people do use Indeedee Calyrex. Yes, some people are going to click Follow Me. But not everybody. A lot of people are going to expect you to use Expanding Force right away because that's like Alakazam's move. So not everybody's actually going to click Follow Me. Some people are going to click like Helping Hand or something stupid like that. So you do have that going for you. And if they don't lead Indeedee, then you're pretty much just set because, you know, Alakazam has Inner Focus. It can't be flinched. If they protect, that's one thing, but they won't get to see the speed tiers and know that you're actually going to be faster than them. And then, so yeah, we have Dazzling Gleam in case they send out like Urshifu Dark versus you in the front. They could Sucker Punch, but if you lead Indeedee, they can't Sucker Punch. Then Psychic to, if they have Wide Guard, basically. Like, I faced an Araquanid that used Wide Guard, and I used Psychic, and I won, because then the next turn I switched out Alakazam for Hitmontop, used Expanding Force with Indeedee, they didn't use Wide Guard again, and they lost. So, you know, the having non-spread Psychic does come very clutch. Then, lastly, on this team, we have Expert Belt Landorus, and it is really hard decision on whether Cinderace should get Expert Belt or Landorus should get Expert Belt. And the reason why I decided to do it this way is that Cinderace really benefits from having that extra Life Orb damage tacked onto every one of its moves. They do a lot. Whereas Landorus, I mean, yeah, Landorus needs it too, but like, Landorus really benefits from dealing those special effect, super effective damages. So, you know, with the Expert Belt, you hope that you're going to be facing something that you're actually super effective against, and you can use Earth Power, Sludge Bomb, Rock Slide. But even if you don't get the Expert Belt boost, you're still going to get that Sheer Force boost, which is nice. So, you know, you do have that going for you. Common leads on this team are going to be something like, yeah, I mean, Indeedee Xerneas, Indeedee Alakazam, but you can also do things like Hitmontop Xerneas, Cinderace Landorus, Indeedee Cinderace, you know, so there's a lot of fun things this team can do. I've actually started Alakazam Xerneas before, and, you know, versus like a Calyrex Shadow, just click like Shadow Ball Geomancy or Shadow Ball Protect, and it goes pretty well. I do really like this team. It is a bit more of a best of one team, but I think I've just been getting a lot of success with it, so I do hope that you guys enjoy it. Next, we've got the Jolty Boom team. This team, I actually this week got number 29th in the Osiris Tour, and I only played 3 matches. It was just a quick 3-win streak, and I just wanted to test the team. So, you know, I'm glad that we tested it. This team is really fun. Honestly, it is my Zacian team for this month, and you will see me using certain Pokemon a little bit more this month based on how good they are. Like, all the past teams have had Landorus I. The next 2 teams will not have Landorus I. 2 of my teams have Rillaboom, 2 of my teams have Regieleki, 2 of my teams have Indeedee. So, you know, there's certain Pokemon that are really good. And let's just talk about this team. So, this team is certainly not lacking any Calyrex Shadow counters. We've got Arctivish Ninetales, which Arctivish has Vicious Rend, Icicle Crash, Crunch, and Protect. Arctivish is actually a pretty bulky Pokemon. It has a decent survivability. -1 Arctivish, if it moves before Incineroar, can still one-shot Incineroar, which is really nice. Vicious Rend, yeah, Ice Crash and Crunch is kind of just like a good moveset for this meta. Crunch allowing you to hit Calyrex Shadow, Icicle Crash allowing you to hit things like Landorus, and just being a good move for Arctivish as a third move. And Protect definitely coming in clutch because you do face those Grassy Glides. Zacian with Sacred Sword substitute Iron Head and Protect. Iron Head turns into Behemoth Blade. Sacred Sword is just good in case you face something like an Iron Defense Ferrothorn. And Substitute definitely comes in clutch on Zacian, although it would be nice to have Play Rough, I'm not going to say it wouldn't. Then we have Assault Vest Rillaboom with Grassy Glide, Wood Hammer, Knockoff, and Fake Out. Wood Hammer has definitely come in clutch for me. I don't use it that much, but yes, versus Kyogre, Serena, it is useful. So there's that. Knockoff, it's another answer to Calyrex Shadow if you need it. Wood Hammer also does big damage to things like Xerneas, so you have that going for you. Then one of the fun parts of the team, Choice Scarf Jolteon. So again, we are trying to outspeed that Calyrex Shadow if we need to. Not that, we really need to with the way the rest of this team looks, but it is going to be your best immediate answer to Calyrex Shadow, because even in the Hail, Arctivish isn't going to be faster, Rillaboom's not going to be faster even though it has Assault Vest, and Jolteon is trained to be faster than Regieleki. So if the opponent does something like start Regieleki Calyrex Shadow, you will actually be able to outspeed the Regieleki, do that Shadow Ball onto Calyrex Shadow, and one-shot them before you get Electrowebbed. However, they might Protect and Electroweb, which in that case, one of the best leads on this team for me has actually been Rillaboom Jolteon. Rillaboom Jolteon's an amazing lead on this team. It's, goes good against Tornadus Kyogre. It goes good against Regieleki Calyrex Shadow. It goes good against, I don't know, a lot of things. So Choice Scarf Jolteon, interestingly enough, is actually a split support offensive Pokemon. So you can go for support Jolteon with the Choice Scarf, Thunder Waving people's daylights out, charming them right away if you really need to, like opposing Zacian. Although, I kind of feel like versus Zacian, your best bet is going to be to lead, I'm going to sneeze, your best bet is going to, okay, sorry, it's coming, oh lord, he coming. So the best lead, I think, against Zacian is actually going to be Jolteon Landorus, where you lead Thunder Wave Earth Power, and you can pretty much just get rid of them right away. Of course, they might Protect, but they also might expect them to be faster than you, so there's that. Yes, it is another Landorus. Yes, this one has Psychic again. This team really doesn't have that amazing answers to a Moongus. It does have Blizzard, it does have Icicle Crash, but you do benefit from Psychic, and I think maybe this team would benefit from Rock Slide now that I'm looking at it. This team doesn't have that many amazing answers to something like Volcarona. So maybe if I play this team a little more, I will think about switching it onto Rock Slide. But I'm always up for feedback. If you guys want to, if you look at these teams and you think yeah, I think that Landorus should have Rock Slide, let me know. And if I agree enough, I'm gonna actually change it, and I'll re-release the code and let you guys know, hey, that code doesn't work anymore. Use the fixed code where I use Rock Slide instead of Psychic. So yeah, let me know. Then we've got Focus, Sash, Ninetales with Blizzard, Dazzling Gleam, Aurora Veil, and Protect. The idea here being that people really aren't going to use Wide Guard that much against Ninetales. You can, as an egg move, get Moonblast, but I just didn't feel like going through that hassle. and, you know, things can get redirected. So I think it's more likely that someone would try to redirect a move than it is that someone's going to use Wide Guard against Ninetales. So I think there's your kind of give and take for Blizzard and Dazzling Gleam. I like Dazzling Gleam over Moonblast. So yeah, common leads on this team are going to be Ninetales, Arctovish, Jolteon, Rillaboom. You can even do things like, you know, Rillaboom Zacian, Ninetales Zacian, Jolteon Zacian, Jolteon Landorus, Jolteon Nine. It's, you know, this is why I don't just sit here and like name a bunch of leads, because yeah, it's leads. But you know, I really just wanted to talk about how the specific Pokemon operate, like Jolteon being faster than Regieleki and being like the mid support offensive option and things like that. So yeah, I really do like this team. Let me know how it goes if you try it out. This is slowly turning into one of my favorite teams for this month. The way that I put it is, it has a lot of nice colors. Like, like you just look at the different colors of the Pokemon, you're like, yeah, that's, you know, that'll probably work. But I trained them to make it work as well. So we've got that. And you can also switch in Jolteon if you're expecting an electric move to be coming at Arctovish, which we've got that. And I guess I forgot to talk about common switch-ins on my teams, but you do want to think about things like that. Hitmontop is a good switch-in for Alakazam. Landorus is a good switch-in for Jolteon. Rillaboom is a pretty decent switch-in for Jolteon. This team does have a couple fire weaknesses which you need to be aware of, but we do have things that can deal with those fire Pokemon. So let's move on to the next team so we're not wasting too much time. Next, we have a really fun team. This is a team that I've tested a little bit less. However, in the testing that I did, this team performs really well. So we've got a Palkia team here with Protect, Trick Room, Spatial Rend, and Hydro Pump, which does big damage with the Lustrous Orb. Another fun addition, we've got a Dark Urshifu, which not a lot of people are using right now. And this Urshifu actually has Life Orb. So we're going to be packing big amounts of damage with this Life Orb Urshifu with Wicked Blow, Close Combat, and Sucker Punch. It does get one shot. You got to be careful about that. We have Protect. No, it's not Detect, but it is Protect. Funny. So, yeah, Urshifu's just really nice for cleaning up against certain really annoying threats like Stakataka and Calyrex Shadow, and Calyrex Ice as well. But our main star of the team, which has the ability to operate really well in the Trick Room mode and to counter things like not only Calyrex Ice, but also Zacian and Stackles McTackles, is Escavalier. So Escavalier with the Assault Vest and Overcoat can't be sleep powdered, and also does really good damage into a lot of things in this meta. Drill Run has the ability to two-shot a Zacian, which when paired with Palkia, you can pretty much just one-shot it with Hydro Pump and Drill Run, which is really nice. Palkia does need to look out for like Play Rough and things like that. Calyrex Ice Glacial Haunts is a 4-shot on Escavalier. It takes 4 Glacial Haunts to knock it out. I think with a Life Orb it might be a 3-shot, but that being said, it's still a 3-shot, and it might even be a roll for it to do 33%. Like, it doesn't even always do 33 with the Life Orb, if I'm correct. Ironhead, Drill Run, Mega Horn, and Close Combat, really good moveset for Escavalier. I just think that it benefits from that extra special defense, so that's why I'm using Assault Vest. But I don't know, like, you could technically take off Close Combat for Protect, and that could be good, because if you are really in risk of a fire move and you don't have Pelipper out, you know, you are going to have to switch out. So then we have Rillaboom with Grassy Glide, Knock Off, Protect, and Fake Out. I just found that Knock Off is, not only another Calyrex Shadow answer that we're going to need, but we can get by without needing Woodhammer, honestly. Like, Woodhammer definitely comes in clutch. I'm not going to say it doesn't. But, in practice, you can usually get by without having Woodhammer, and Grassy Glide still, allows you to do what you need to do usually. I do think having Protect can be really nice on Rillaboom because most people don't expect it, and non-Assault Vest Rillaboom is quite more fragile than Assault Vest Rillaboom. So that's why we're running Protect on this Rillaboom with the Miracle Seed. Miracle Seed Rillaboom can two-shot a Xerneas with Grassy Glide, so that's one of the reasons why you go for Miracle Seed Rillaboom. And yes, I do think that you could argue for taking Protect off for Woodhammer and just going for, like as a different item but same moveset as the other Rillaboom. However, I do think that having 4 out of 6 of the Pokemon on this team being able to Protect instead of 3 out of 6 is probably going to be really important. So I think that dropping Woodhammer is hard, but it's a sacrifice that's probably worth making on this team. Regieleki with Thunderbolt, Electroweb, Volt Switch, Protect, pretty standard. Really good for countering Kyogre, good for moderating the opponent's speed, good for readjusting board position. Just, great Pokemon in this meta. Then, lastly, we have Pelipper, which is kind of like my Mantine on this team. However, Pelipper sets up its own reign to benefit things like Rillaboom and Overcoat Boy Escavalier, who do not like fire moves. Interestingly enough, though, we are running Weather Ball on Pelipper because Weather Ball in the rain actually can one-shot some things you wouldn't expect it to. Like, I think I did 91% of health to a Tornadus, and, that's really not something that you expect Pelipper to be doing. So it can one-shot certain things that you don't expect it to with Weather Ball. However, if your opponent does something like tries to lead Groudon Venusaur, you now have access to a fire move with Pelipper. And you're not going to want to use Hurricane because it's 50% accuracy in the harsh sunlight. So you can do something like lead, Palkia, Pelipper, and, they will probably target their Sleep Powder into Palkia, and you can use Weather Ball. So, you've got things like that. Common leads on this team are going to be, Pelipper, Regieleki, Pelipper Palkia. You can do something like Rillaboom Palkia if you want to get up that Trick Room and you want to fake out the opponent. I've done things like lead Regieleki Palkia, use Volt Switch with Regieleki, use Trick Room, bring in Escavalier. But that's, if you think you're going to need that mode. And I did consider using U-Turn on Rillaboom instead of Knockoff, just so that I could try to do things like that. Use U-Turn with Rillaboom, switch into Escavalier, and then be ready with Escavalier for Trick Room right away. However, you do need to be careful switching Rillaboom out halfway through in certain instances, so I do think this will be fine. Urshifu it feels like a little bit more of a late game person on this team, but if your opponent is going to lead something like Indeedee something, you can get away with Urshifu in quite a bit of situations unless they have Xerneas, Indeedee Xerneas. You need to be on the lookout for that. So all over, super fun team. Escavalier performs really well. And let's move on to the very last team for the day, which is easily the most meta team in this whole installment that I'm releasing. It's just based on looking at the Pokemon. And I thought about actually using Centiskorch over Volcarona. The problem is that Scorch just can't be quicker than Zacian, and Volcarona with one Quiver Dance not only can be quicker than Zacian, but can probably one-shot it with Fiery Dance. So you do want Volcarona inherently for being a better Zacian counter, and yeah, Struggle Bug, Fiery Dance, Quiver Dance, and Rage Powder is good. I think I might think about taking Rage Powder off for Protect. I'm just not really clicking Rage Powder that much, so that's something for me to think about. I might take Rage Powder off for Protect, but I do think that this works pretty well for now. Technically, Volcarona is the only person on the team right now who doesn't have Protect, so that's something to think about. So we have Tornadus with Mental Herb. I'm actually running a bulky, kind of slow Tornadus. Let me know what you think about this. I'm thinking about switching that as well. Like, I understand that you might want 252, 252. And Tornadus doesn't always survive things much more that it needs to, but it does survive some things quite a bit more. So, Air Slash, Taunt, Tailwind, Protect, with Prankster being able to avoid getting its not getting its Tailwind off. And that's why I'm not really worried about being slow. Like, yeah, the opposing Tornadus can taunt you turn 1, or like Whimsicott, whatever, but you're still going to be able to get off the Tailwind, so it's really not a problem. And you can Protect if they're going to do Fake Out, so you got that. Then we've got Urshifu with Focus Sash. Definitely, it needs it. Close Combat, Surging Strikes, Protect again instead of Detect, and Aqua Jet. So pretty standard Urshifu, just really good in this meta. Good answer for things like Incineroar, Stakataka, Volcarona. Even though Volcarona with Flame Body is actually a pretty good adversary for Urshifu. Then we've got Indeedee with Protect, Helping Hand, Expanding Force, Follow Me. It's the same Indeedee from the other team. Comes in clutch a lot with the redirection, the Helping Hand, and being able to Expanding Force if you need it to. However, potentially Mystic Fire would be better. It's just that I actually do get pretty decent use out of Expanding Force sometimes. So, there's that. Regieleki again. Thunderbolt, E-Web, Volt Switch, Protect. Just good Pokemon in this meta. Really not much more to say about it. Can use Electro Web to lower the opponent's speed, so you can do something like lead Regieleki Calyrex and do Electro Web Astral Barrage. It's just fun, Regieleki is definitely a good Pokemon in this meta, so don't sleep on it. Volcarona, already mentioned, really good to counter Zacian. That's one of the main reasons to use it. If you use Quiver Dance twice, you pretty much have a Geomancy Volcarona. So you can do things like go Follow Me and Quiver Dance, and that puts Volcarona in a position to become really scary for your opponent. Struggle Bug, great tech, lowers special attack. Fiery Dance has a 50% chance of raising your special attack. So pretty good Pokemon for sure. And then lastly, we've got the Calyrex Shadow with Life Orb, Expanding Force, Astral Barrage, and Expanding Force. So, I know some people have been doing things like running Psyshock as their last move, but I don't really agree with that. So, I think Shadow Ball is going to be really nice to have if your opponent does something like leading Wide Guard and their own Calyrex Shadow. So, you've got the Shadow Ball if you need it. But you could also do something like lead, like Energy Ball, instead of Shadow Ball, I think is something people have been doing. So, common leads on this team are going to be something like Tornadus and Indeedee if you feel like you need to get off that Tailwind. Regieleki, Tornadus, like Indeedee, Calyrex. This team is very varied. Like, there's so many different leads you can do on this team that it's almost not really worth trying to pinpoint what would be the best lead, because it's very, very situational. So, like, I don't really want to sit here and, like, name, like, oh, this lead, because this team is so meta that it really does come down to your situation. But, yeah, like, Indeedee, Tornadus if you want to get off the Tailwind. We don't actually have Fake Out on this team. I decided last minute to switch Rillaboom off for Volcarona because we do really need that Zacian answer. And I think with Psychic Terrain, it's kind of okay to not have Rillaboom, the broken one, the broken monk. Cool. So those are my teams for this month. I really hope that you guys enjoy them. Definitely give them a try. Let's see, what can I give out in commemoration for this series? I can actually give out a shiny Kyogre. So I do have shiny Kyogre from Pokemon Go that I can give you guys. So shiny Kyogre I will give out if you use this team, post a video of it and let me know. For this, I can actually give out Xerneas. So I have the event Xerneas that I can give out. Cool. For this team, what would people like? Shiny Arctivish? I can give out shiny Arctivish. I also have like leftover shiny Jolteons. So yeah, I could give out one of those. I have shiny Palkia. I have the event Palkia left over as well, so I could give out a shiny Palkia. Volker. There's not really anyone good to give out on this team. I have a Volcarona the sociable that I could give out. That is, that's the Volcarona that I'm using on this team. It's stamped. That's what the sociable thing does. So, yeah, if you do try these teams, let me know. I will reward with a free complimentary shiny. But yeah, I really do hope that you enjoy those teams. I enjoy making them and using them quite a lot, and I just appreciate y'all being here. So with that being said, have a good day. Please give a like and subscribe if you so fancy yourself to do so. I really do appreciate those of you who are here with us and helping us get towards or hit that 100 sub mark. So peace out, y'all. Have a good one and have a good series 10 more than anything else. I really hope y'all and all of us the best of luck.